First cast coming up. Dad Leland's back. He ain't screwing around anymore.
Freaking nice part, Purge.
Ah, life's good. Woo!
Good job, man.
Oh, Phil, I'm so glad you talked me into this.
Oh. Woo! What a way to start the morning briefing.
Oh, look at that, man.
The big calico bass come out to play around Punta Banda, Baja California, Norte near Ensenada, fishing with Diego Nuno and Costa Baja Sport Fishing.
Oh my God!
Let him in back there.
Nice. James has got a fish. There's fish coming on. Yeah. Good job, boy. Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And if you have a leaky roof, then go visit my dear friend Brett at PelicanRoofSoCal.com. They'll get out, get you fixed up so you can get out and catch some more fish on your next adventure. PelicanRoofSoCal.com.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing. Morning briefing.
Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is Friday morning, and it couldn't be any more beautiful than it is. It's sunny, it's warm, it's gorgeous, and of course, we've got all the very latest, not only from Mexico and the long-range situation, but we're going to cover our Bluefin Tuna bite. We'll look at the islands, we'll take you up to San Francisco and cover it all. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God, is that good? And is it great to be with you all? If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. Subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy, despicable, deplorable little bell because you'll be notified when there's new content. You can also follow us on TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, and Facebook. Man, I got that order all screwed up this morning, didn't I? It's really great to be with you and a lot to cover with you on an absolutely pristine and gorgeous morning here in Southern California and also down in northern Baja California. I talked to some guys, bangueros, who are just taking off out of Ensenada and Popotla, and they say it's a beautiful day today for Bluefin Tuna. We'll see how that all plays out. Tomorrow's the big SC Notre Dame game, and Jeff Lingle, who runs a yacht out of San Diego and fishes way down below, he is a big SC fan. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. The loser has to don the other team's shirt or jersey. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, let's get into it with you all. First of all, long range situation. American Angler has a Wahoo for every single angler on board their trip. Long range trips this time of the year are like 7 to 10 day trips for the most part, and they produce really great variety. Dorado, Wahoo, Yellowfin Tuna, Yellowtail, and a lot more also than that. And we've been seeing really great fishing. Now, there's been times when, even on a long range trip, things are not clicking. We've had some weather issues here. If you look at the last couple of weeks with that hurricane that went through, and also we'll see situations where the fish just don't want to bite. But overall, it's pretty good. Not wide open Wahoo fishing, but decent enough right now. And there's also good yellowfin tuna fishing, and the yellowtail bite, perhaps the most consistent and best of all, has been spectacular here recently. I didn't do the Tootsie report, did I? Water feels a little cooler to me here this morning. We'll see how my scientific method proves out here, but it does feel just a little bit cooler. Overall, long range fishing, really, really good. Can't really doubt it. All right, let's talk about what's going on down in Ensenada, only 70 miles down below the border, where we continue to pick at the bluefin tuna, occasional yellowfin tuna, fish mostly in the 10 to 30 pound class, but we'll see some bigger fish mixed in with it, like 70 pounders, 80 pounders, even bigger than that. They're certainly around, and they do like to bite those trolled Mad Mac lures. That's how most of the guys down that way have been catching their fish, but also throwing tuna riot poppers or those smaller jigs, shiny jigs. Daiwa Sakana is a good one. Cold Sniper, 60 to 100 grams, seems to be working best of all when you roll up on a foamer. Now, sometimes you'll roll up on those foamers, and there's not a darn thing you can do to get them to bite. They just tease, and it's so frustrating to see so many fish, and they don't want to bite. We certainly have seen quite a bit of that here recently for our Ensenada folks. There's yellowtail, not a lot, but a little bit of yellowtail for the Ensenada fleet, Popotla fleet. Also, great rock fishing, calico sand bass, few barracuda down there. Good variety right now, nice weather, and that is going to be one of the factors that really enable you to make a better catch. Good weather is essential, and this is normally when we get the best weather months of the year, but this year, Jeff Lingle, all the guys will tell you, man, it's been a windy fall, windy summer, no doubt about it. So we'll see how that all plays out. You wouldn't know it here this morning on this beautiful summer-like day. It is sunny, warm, and gorgeous. Let's talk bluefin tuna for San Diego base boats all the way up to the LA Orange County area, because many of them are fishing Tanner and Cortez Bank, 70, 80, 90 mile run from the LA landings. You know, same thing for San Diego guys, 80 miles more like it to get to Tanner Bank. And out there in that neck of the woods, we continue to catch those 10 to 30 pound bluefin tuna. Some trips are really good, and other trips they don't want to bite. So it is very inconsistent right now. Most of that fish is going to be that smaller grade. I would say, 15 pound average is what I would call likes to bite on the floral coverage. That's like 25 pound lighter floral. Sometimes 20 pound will get you even more bites, a smaller hook, a good hot bait that you change regularly. Out there, Tanner, Cortez Bank, those are the kind of scores we've been getting. Now, other guys have been going down south, and that's where they are finding some more yellowfin tuna, and there's some Dorado mixed in. There's some bluefin tuna down that way also. Again, it's hit and miss. Some guys will come up with a good score, and other guys will not. Nighttime big fish fishing. Big bluefin tuna at night is a thing if you get on the right batch of fish, and in some cases, it has been really, really good fishing that stuff at night. We talked about John Garma having an exceptional trip just the other day on the Pacific Queen. The Queen was out again. I'll have their score for you in a moment. There are some of those big fish at night that continue to bite. But again, you got to find the right school, and sometimes you drive around all night long and you never find one. Let me give you a few scores here. Islander on a 3-day trip, 40 bluefin. Had one that went 150 pounds, 6 yellowfin, a couple of flatheads, a couple of Dorado to go along with that. Ranger 85 on a 2.5-day trip. They ended up on that trip with 38 bluefin tuna and 8 Dorado, 16 anglers on that lucky trip. Legend, 3.5-day trip, 35 bluefin tuna to 178 pounds, 38 yellowfin tuna, 6 yellowtail, a couple of Dorado. You are hearing in the scores that some guys are getting them, and some trips are just kind of ho-hum at best. The Tribute, they're fishing a 1-day trip yesterday out of San Diego, limits of bluefin tuna. So there you go, man. Not a bad score. And the Queen, with 99 bluefin tuna on a 3-day trip. 13 of those fish. Could you hear that? My voice kind of did a weird thing there. 13 of those fish were over 100-pound, 6 yellowfin, and a couple of Dorado. Heck, the half-day boat, New Seaforth, rolled up on a whole big foamer of bluefin tuna. Saw them everywhere and hooked several. They got a 20-pounder. They got a 100-pound bluefin on board the half-day boat. New Seaforth out of Seaforth Sport Fishing yesterday. The Grande was out on a crew trip looking around. They had a big fish, a big bluefin tuna on board there. So there are some fish in that full-day range. Boats that leave in the morning come back that very same evening, but it's been reluctant to bite. Hopefully that's going to get on the bite. I know the Grande said, heck, let's go to the Coronado Islands on Saturday. So you will need a passport for that trip. Anytime you're within 12 miles of Mexican landmass, and the islands include that definition, you have to have a passport. When you're offshore, you do not need one. They'll be offshore on Sunday on board the Grande. So the islands, Coronado Islands, on Saturday, and then Sunday they'll be offshore. Let's segue and talk about the islands since we're there right now with you in our theme here on the morning briefing. There's been a little bit of yellowtail there at the Coronado Islands. At times it can be pretty darn good. And by that I mean 10 yellows, 12 yellows for the entire boat. A lot of nice great fish, some smaller ones, but there's been a lot of big ones. In fact, I would say one of the problems is you have to fish 25-pound fluoro to get a bite in most cases. And there's a lot of structure and bad neighborhoods around there that you can get rocked in. So you got to be careful about that. You got to get a bite. That's number one. Sometimes the only way to do that is to go to the lighter fluorocarbon. At the same time, you're playing a dangerous game when there's all of that dangerous territory around you that those fish are so adept at getting you into and sawing you off. Those little devils know exactly where to go. At San Clemente Island, we continue to see some good dropper loop island yellowtail fishing. Yeah, some of that's in the coast, some of it's on the backside of the island. Superior great yellowtail. Doesn't bite every single day. And it's rare that you see huge numbers on it. I mean, a really good score would be 20 yellowtail right now. We've seen some bigger scores than that, but not recently. Most of the time you're just picking at those things, but they're such superior great. Seeing those big fish, they bite 50-pound on the dropper loop, 8-ounce torpedo, live or fresh, dead, screwed's the way to go. Catalina Island Pursuit had 10 yellowtail, had a 22nd straight landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. Pursuit's been putting together some good scores on the Porkies. There's a variety of other species mixed in there, but of course they're going to focus on those yellows. There's some calico bass, there's some barracuda bonito fishing. Has been pretty good on the calico bass. You definitely want to drop that fluorocarbon down. Those yellows biting on that fly line bait again, but there's been a few surface iron fish in addition to that. And when you fish the iron, you get to fish heavier line because it's a reaction bite. The yellows don't really care what pound you're fishing, so don't fish anything under 40. I prefer 50. You can put the wood to those yellows when you do that. El Patron goes out of Long Beach Wharf fishing every single day to Catalina Island. You're going to love it. And they have reduced prices during the weekdays there. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Channel Islands, great rock fishing going on up there. There's the occasional halibut and white sea bass. Not a ton of that going on, but a little bit. The Aloha Spirit had 2 white sea bass and 2 halibut amongst some good bottom fishing yesterday. There's also been the occasional decent calico bass fishing up there in the island. Tack has been one boat that's been in on it. Really good calico fishing. Man, when you fish calicos, whether you're on the El Patron at Catalina Island or up there, drop down to 12-pound fluorocarbon. Choose a good hot bait, and you're going to find out just how many more fish and hookups you'll get than the guy standing next to you. That should be really, really great stuff. Avila Beach, Morro Bay, great rock fishing. San Francisco, we see some really excellent rock fishing, still catching striped bass inside and occasional halibut. Times, quite a few halibut, not wide open, but decent, 6, 8, 10 halibut, along with that limited striped bass. The islands, however, if you can get out there and you get a weather window, it's been fantastic for lings and reds and rockfish. It's been full speed, no doubt about that. Talking about our 1/2 and 3/4 day boats, it's mostly going to be, rockfish, sculpin, whitefish. Heck, I just mentioned the New Seaforth had a 100-pound bluefin on their half-day trip. There's some BFP very close to Point Loma, and there's some fish that wander up and around here also. So, I mean, I guess that's in the cards, but mostly we're going to be talking bottom fish during this time of the year. There's some guys that get a good calico bass bite from time to time, but you can expect to be catching some nice deep water cod in the local areas right now. In fact, the freelance yesterday, Davies Locker, Newport Beach, had 8 lings to 20 pounds. Limits on the bottom grabbers. They had really outstanding fishing. There's no doubt about it. We have seen the occasional good hit on the halibut, and the Native Sun is a boat that I'd be watching very closely here on Saturday and Sunday because they've had some really excellent scores on the Native Sun. I think 13 halibut on a trip last weekend, so we'll keep our eyes on those boys to see if they can't do that again. The New Del Mar had 3 halibut yesterday up down in Marina Del Rey sport fishing, and as previously mentioned, there's some calico bass, halibut, occasional white sea bass for the local boys up there in the Channel Islands. Hasn't been too bad at all. We take a look at the surf fishing report, and here in the Southern California surf, whether you are coming here to fish, walk, do whatever, sit in a chair on the beach, this is the morning, this is the day that you should be doing that. And if you've got somebody, you know, who doesn't get out that often, drag them out here and get them some vitamin T. It's absolutely gorgeous. Big fish, bait and tackle down there on the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait you're going to need. And it's not like that little bell. It's not rotten. It's not stinking. It's fresh, beautiful bait that you'll find down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle. Make sure you visit them, and they not only have everything you'll need for the Southern California surf, but they've also got it for offshore where you're fishing that bluefin or fishing those big yellows and all that razzmatazz. Beautiful morning here and down there around Huntington Beach. A few corvina down there here at the tower. We've been seeing an occasional corvina and an occasional halibut. Our friend Jeff Pereira with a legal halibut, his first one this year. Way to go, Jeff. And also there's been a few yellowfin croaker zooming around here up in Long Beach. We continue to see a little bit of fish up there. I'm talking mostly yellowfin croaker and halibut and the Santa Monica Bay. That's where our best corvina fishing has been this year, around the Topaz Rock Jetty. A lot of kelp there this morning, somebody told me, but up there around El Segundo and also up there around El Porto, the water temps have come up a couple of degrees and the fish are biting it a little bit better now. And again, that corvina's in that very short water. They're literally in a foot or two of water, right beyond this wave that's breaking right here, right beyond these waves. See these waves breaking? That's where they are. They stage back there and wait for those waves to do that, because presumably those waves are going to dredge up clams and all kinds of other things in the surf, like sand crabs that surf fish eat. They stage back there and then they zoom in and start looking around for what it is that they can consume. And a lot of times you'll see those corvina just kind of floating around, just doing their thing in here, really close and tight. All right, my friends, a lot of good fishing, man. It's almost Halloween, for God's sakes. I don't want to wish this whole year away, but it's going so fast, it's hard to believe. We'll continue to watch it all for you very, very closely. April, we've got a 5-day trip on the Independence, and man, that's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. April of next year, that's going to be a great trip, and I hope you'll be able to join us. Go to independencesportfishing.com and look at the Freedman Adventures April trip. We would love to see you on board for that one. Take care. What a glorious day. I hope you can get out here and take a walk, catch a fish, or do something fun in the great outdoors. Hope to see you really, really soon.